bullet that went into his skull. The doctors had to remove and sew up and send him.
This is an ABC News special report.
And hello, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips. We are coming on the air with some breaking news this hour. We have just learned that all charges are going to be dropped against award-winning actor Alec Baldwin. This comes on the day that his movie Rust was set to resume following that fatal on-set shooting. Our investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, joining us with more. What do we know, Aaron?
Kira, word came to us via sources just moments ago that the 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter against Alec Baldwin in connection with the shooting that killed Helena Hutchins on the set of Rust in New Mexico are going to be dropped. We now have a statement from Alec Baldwin's attorneys saying, "We are pleased with the decision to dismiss the case against Alec Baldwin, and we encourage a proper investigation into the facts and circumstances of this tragic accident." That statement from the attorneys for Alec Baldwin, Luke Nikas and Alex Spiro, just moments ago. Baldwin had been charged with those 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter that had accused him of ignoring safety standards that are supposed to be the protocol for movie sets. They also really said that Alec Baldwin was negligent as the lead producer on the film, and there were enhancements included in those charges, Kira, that would have called for some significant prison time had he been found guilty. His attorneys have always said, and Baldwin told ABC's George Stephanopoulos, that he did not pull the trigger. That's not how he operates, and that he had no reason to believe that there would be a live round in the chamber of the gun. And now the prosecutor in New Mexico has dropped those 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The special prosecutor in the case had already resigned, and now we learn that the whole case against Alec Baldwin is going away. Kira.
And our Kana Whitworth out of Los Angeles now. Kana, what does this mean for Baldwin's co-defendant and ex-Rust armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed? I mean, charges still stand against her, right? It looks like it's falling on her now.
Kira, you're exactly right. So while Baldwin is breathing a sigh of relief here, all things are still moving forward with this armor, with Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. Nothing has changed for her at this moment. She is facing this count of involuntary manslaughter, and she will still stand trial at this point. And again, that trial, the preliminary part of it is set to start on May 3rd. And so we have called out to the DA's office there. We are waiting for a statement from them, but we have not heard that yet. So again, as you mentioned, Kira, all things right now are falling directly in the lap of the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, who still faces her charges. We also want to point out, too, that we, of course, can't forget about Dave Halls. He was in charge of safety on the set, and a reminder that he has already accepted a plea deal there. He was sentenced to 6 months of unsupervised probation for the negligent discharge of that firearm on the set of Rust. So as we watch this go forward now, all eyes there, of course, Kira, are on Hannah Gutierrez-Reed.
All right, Kana Whitworth, also our Aaron Katursky, thank you so much. I'm Kira Phillips. You can join me back on ABC News Live for more, and of course tonight on World News with David Muir.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
It's your fault.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital, destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there. Right now in America, with so much at stake, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings. Water, every drop shapes our world. And things are changing fast. The power of water. Earth Week, powerful new reports across all of ABC News, morning through night. From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
You never know what you're gonna get on this show. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! Is this mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what people don't see during the commercial break.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasure that day. I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby. It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. For over 20 years, we've given some real-life superhero moms the mother of all surprises. Oh my goodness! It's GMA's Breakfast in Bed.
This is amazing. I had no idea.
And now, this year, we want to give our biggest, most epic live Mother's Day surprise yet to the most deserving mom.
Oh my goodness.
So go now to goodmorningamerica.com or scan this QR code to find out how to enter to share your mom's story and honor her the GMA way.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. Whenever news breaks,
The crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
And our breaking news coverage continues here on ABC News Live. We have learned that all charges have been dropped against Emmy Award-winning actor Alec Baldwin in connection with the Rust movie set shooting that killed cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. Baldwin was facing 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter in the October 2021 shooting. That filming for the movie was supposed to start today in Montana with no working weapons or any form of ammunition. For more, let's bring in our investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, also Kana Whitworth out of our Los Angeles Bureau, and of course, ABC News legal contributor, attorney Brian Buckmeyer for more. All right, so let's start with you, Aaron, and what exactly do we know about who dropped these charges, how it came to light, and also what are Alec Baldwin's attorneys saying now?
Prosecutors in New Mexico just moments ago dropped the charges against Alec Baldwin, who had been facing 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter in connection with the shooting death of Halyna Hutchins on the set of Rust. In a statement provided to ABC News, Baldwin's attorneys said, "We are pleased with the decision to dismiss the case against Alec Baldwin, and we encourage a proper investigation into the facts and circumstances of this tragic accident." That's from the attorneys Luke Nikas and Alex Spiro, the attorneys for Alec Baldwin, just moments ago on word the prosecutors in New Mexico have decided to drop those 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. They had been fighting these charges on Baldwin's behalf ever since they were filed, Kira. The charges said that Baldwin was negligent and ignored safety standards that are supposed to be commonplace on movie sets. He had denied that. He had also denied to ABC News in his interview with George Stephanopoulos that he ever pulled the trigger. And he said he couldn't have known that there was a live round in the chamber. So Baldwin had been fighting the charges. Now comes word they have been dropped. Kira.
All right, let's take it to you, Kana, and what this means for Baldwin's co-defendant, the armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed.
Right, so it seems like it all falls in her lap now, right, Kira? If Baldwin camp is now breathing a sigh of relief here, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, at this point, what we know is her trial will move forward. This preliminary trial will start on May 3rd. There have been no changes to what she is facing, a charge of involuntary manslaughter. We want to point out that we have looked at the Santa Fe court system. No different documents have been uploaded. We've also reached out to the DA's office there and her attorneys as well. And so at this point, there is still no change into what she is facing. She will move forward and face this count of involuntary manslaughter on May 3rd. Also, let's not forget about Dave Halls as well. You remember he was in charge of safety there on set, and he has already accepted a plea deal and was sentenced to 6 months of unsupervised probation for the negligent discharge of a firearm on that set. So again here, Kira, as we move forward, as Alec Baldwin breathes this sigh of relief, all eyes will be on Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer in this case.
Wow. So, Brian, how will that move forward? And also, does the investigation go any further now in any way, shape, or form? Since charges were dropped against Alec, will there be any other type of, I don't know, separate investigation while Hannah Gutierrez-Reed still stands charged?
So let me break it up. The first part being, how do we go forward? The case will continue to go on forward on May 3rd for both Hannah Gutierrez and Alec Baldwin. On May 3rd, what I'm listening for is, how are you saying this case is being dismissed? There are two types of general ways of dismissing a case: with or without prejudice. There is with prejudice that says the case can't come back no matter what you find out later, and there's without prejudice. And so if the investigation still continues on and maybe they find something new that they want to use against Alec Baldwin, if it's dismissed without prejudice, they can come back and refile those cases. But if it's dismissed with prejudice, no matter what they find in the investigation going forward against Alec Baldwin, they cannot bring those charges. So that language is going to be crucial come May 3rd.
All right, we will stay on top of it. Kana, Brian, Aaron, thank you all so much. And coming up, we have more on that bill that would ban transgender women from competing in all girls and women's sports at the college and high school level. Breaking down the bill right after this.
Tonight, the abortion pill ruling, millions waiting on